G'day, my name is David and I love my gardening. I've had lots of requests to see photos and videos of my vegetable patch this year. So I thought the easiest way would be to do a video. I am lucky to live on 8 acres in Wonga Park in Melbourne. Unfortunately, most of my 8 acres is all scrub, tea tree, pine forest, etc. So down the back here I have slowly cut out a little area. I started with my first vegetable patch about 9 years ago, and it was 2 meters by 2 meters in here, and each year I've slowly expanded it. This patch here now that you see in front of you, I call them number 1, number 2 and number 3. So this is my first patch, veggie patch number 1, which is now 13 meters by 14 meters in size. You can see I've got a rabbit-proof fence here, and I've also put a hot wire in this season because I've had problems with deer coming in and stripping my fruit trees, which we'll get around to see. So in here we have a combination mixture of Queensland blue pumpkins, as well as spaghetti squash and butternut pumpkins. So they're all mixed in together here, and I just let them go crazy down this back corner of the patch. Just so that you have an idea of the aspect here, the garden faces east-west, so that's east, and obviously west behind me, so the sun comes up and over the patch here. So in this back corner, as I said, are all my pumpkins. I've got here some artichoke. I've got some purple artichokes. We've got some butternut pumpkins in here. And then we've got quite an extensive patch in here of tomatoes. So I've grown tomatoes in one long bed here. And there's one every 30-40 centimetres. There's a variety all the way through there. They're all mixed tomatoes. So I've got things like mortgage lifters, ox half beet steaks, Tommy toes, cherries, rouge de marmalade. There's more tomatoes over there. We'll work our way around to these. So for tomatoes in the middle, you'll see quite an interesting little bamboo setup. This is my system that I use for growing tomatoes. I'm lucky on this property that we've got some bamboo, and I like to use things that I have. But basically I make an A-frame up, run bamboo across the top, and then use cotton cord. Buy it from Bunnings, cheap, get a roll for $8. And I tie that to the base of the plants and then wind it up the stem. You'll see it there, wound up the stem, and then I tie it off. And what this allows me to do is, as the plant grows, I can actually change where I put the cords. I can take the cords out, move them out further, so that the plants, you can see these plants are growing up on an angle, so I can maximise the amount of light and air around the plants to reduce disease and pest issues. Moving around, we have a peach tree here at the front, just a little fella. This is an apricot tree. So a few years old, this apricot tree, but it obviously loves the position. I've taken the fruit off of that one already this year. We've got a prune tree, a peach tree, and then in the corner over here we have a Tahitian lime. You can see the tomatoes. They're talking about the bed that goes all the way across here. This is my solar deterrent to keep the deer out. That just has a battery in it that charges and runs the hot wires. Moving in, so coming back around the side here, you can see the tomatoes are going absolutely great guns. We'll come in here for a bit of a closer look at what we got going on here. So down here in front of me we have a row of Roma tomatoes, and that one's just a raised bed. I've been slowly putting in edged gardens to actually give me a bigger area to plant on. This used to be a rounded garden, the same as this one, and you're limited to putting one tomato and then moving on. You couldn't put two side by side. This enabled me to double the area, surface area, and double up my tomato, and thus double my yield. And we'll work our way around there. It's a bit of a jungle to get through to the tomatoes. Got some jalapenos. These guys have been here 4 years. They've survived the winters. This is their 4th season, and each year they just survive through winter. They die back a bit. I cut them back in early spring, and then I get new growth, and then straight away I get early season jalapenos. So these guys are going nuts already. We've already picked a crop of jalapenos about 3 weeks ago, which we bottled up. We'll be picking some more. This is my rosemary tree. I've got different European basil. I've got some, this is kind of a herb, bit of a mixed herb garden in amongst the weeds. Got flat leaf parsley, some cos lettuce that's going to seed, some oregano here, and some thyme. I've got all sorts of other herbs in the back there. Some more of my jalapenos. So these guys are going nuts. This is my bean trellis. I've got a bean trellis here. These guys are what they call vitalis beans. They're a flat bean. Love these guys. These are great eating bean. Massive producer. So I've just got some bamboo, some wireframe. I've got this, it almost looks like steel Rio from Bunnings. Cheap as chips. Another tomato trellis in here. And you'll see the cord that I'm using, which tie up to the top. And then wind around the plant, just tie it off at one of the nodes, and then just wind it up, and this helps support the plant and the weight of the tomatoes. Back to my bean trellis. So we've got a bit of a mixture in here. We've got the vitalis beans, but we also have in here some of my other favourite, which is a purple king bean. And these are a massive producer. One of the best things about beans, they really respond well to removing the early ones, and then the plants go nuts, and they just, almost like a defence mechanism, they start producing en masse. The back end of the pumpkins. Back up through here to our tomatoes. The beans are going so nuts, I've had to run a trellis out here and start to encourage them to grow out because they're falling back down on themselves. We've had a really good crop, good flush of tomatoes, so we've had good setting of fruit this year. So we've got plenty of tomatoes all through here, and a bit of rain that we've had will bring them on like crazy. Some good fruit sets, and these things are I planted these in September 2023, and these things are 8 foot, nearly 9 foot high. So that's veggie patch number 1. Going to veggie patch 2, so this is the second patch I made. This is a long one. On the property there was an old abandoned polytunnel. I rescued all of these frames with the idea of enclosing these in plastic. They're all bent up and twisted, and I've reshaped them as best I could and brought them down here to this garden bed. So this one is 4 metres by 23 metres long, and I've converted all these to raised beds with timber sleepers. Originally these were just rounded beds, and at the end of the season it'd get full of weeds and I'd have to come in here with a ride-on mower and level it before I could replant. So in here we have potatoes. This first little patch of potatoes you see here is what I call my my randoms. These are all leftover bits of potato from our scraps and food scraps, and we throw them in here. It's kind of a perpetual bed that keeps on coming back. We have some artichokes here in front of us again. These guys just keep on producing each year. We don't have to do much with them. You'll notice there's some weed matting there to keep the weeds down. A few random potatoes. We have a thornless blackberry in here. And these guys, I like to grow crops that just do their own thing and come back each year. So the blackberry just sits there. That's now a 6-year-old plant. There's 2 plants. Produces a massive crop. And you can see we have loads of berries. And we use this for eating, for snacking, or we use it for making jams. Make a terrific jam. So got a great fruit set on those. These artichokes, they grow a flower. I'll show you one down here in a moment. And we eat the artichoke itself. Random potatoes in here. Have a bit of a mixture of herbs. Over in the back here, I have some raspberry plants. I've just planted these canes in spring, and these guys are gone nuts. These are good 4 foot high from a little stick that I planted in September. So I've got high expectations for those. We have some sweet basil, dill that we're growing, using in our pickling, coriander that's going to seed. On my right here we have zucchinis. So these are a blackjack zucchini. I've already picked all the zucchinis this morning, so you're not going to see anything here. But these plants are just lush and green. Some more random potatoes that have come up. Oh, there's an artichoke. For those who are not familiar with what an artichoke looks like. And when this gets a bit bigger, we will, and it starts to open up at the base here, we'll cut that off, and then this one will grow, and then this one will grow. But we'll actually steam that until it's soft and tender, and pull the petals off and dunk it in butter. And oh my God, call the police, call the food police. Here I am training some, these are spaghetti squash. So I'm training these up and along some bamboo. What I do here is not pretty, it's all for function. Form follows function. So I want things to have the most amount of light and the most amount of air. I like to get these things up off the ground. When you get these kind of plants next to dirt and rain, it invites disease, and you get powdery mildew is a common problem we have with these kind of plants. So I like to get them up off the ground and then tie them. You can see there I've tied them up to some bamboo, and I'll just train this along here and keep on running it up here, and all the fruit will hang down. It's really easy to maintain and keep clean and pest and disease free. Some more blackjack zucchinis, a bit of mixed herbs in here, all coriander, your traditional curly-leafed parsley. I've got sweet corn in here. There's about 40 head of corn in here. I've got some double headers. It's always good to see a double header, but they're coming along nicely. You can see down there some of the little zucchinis coming along. These are heavy producers, these blackjack zucchinis. This one here is a button squash. You can see one that's actually gotten away. Not so much a button, more of a saucer. But there was another kind of squash. So typically I grow the button squash and all black zucchinis. Some more button squash. Following through here. And then in the middle of this middle of this garden. Sorry to be zooming around. In the middle here, I've got a V-shaped trellis, and in here we've got pickling gherkins. So we love to pickle our own gherkins, our own cucumbers, and these are specific ones for pickling. So these grow really quick, and like many other things like beans and that, you find if you remove, you'll see here, if you remove this cucumber here, this one will come on quickly. It actually will then sprout and put out more shoots. So it actually encourages the plant. I think it's a defense mechanism or survival mechanism. You take one fruit off and it pops out multiple more. You can see these here. So I'll be knocking some of these off before I go up. In the shade here, I've got some more sweet basil. I like to put these sort of herbs in here. I'm not sure whether they deter pests, but one of the things I've learnt in gardening is sweet basil here might do really well, whereas sweet basil down there that I saw you earlier is not doing so well. So I like to put the same plant in different positions and find a position that they like and a pattern and in the soil and that. So here we've got a Triffid. This is my supermarket long green cucumber. So you can see those guys there. That's not ready yet, but it won't be long before it is. So there's lots of these in here. These are a larger size cucumber. This here is bok choy. I've let it go, deliberately let it go to seed because this crop of bok choy went really well, and I wanted to collect seed here from my own homegrown bok choy in the position where it's grown, and so the seed that we should get here should be fabulous. Continuing along here past my trellis. So you can see here what I've done is you got the wire. It's quite large squares. That's 8 inches there across, and I run just a jute cord to help for the plants to grab a hold of and get extra support, so it's not just on the steel. So I train these guys to grow up, and I'll eventually put some more here, grow over, and you'll see why I like doing this kind of method. On this next trellis, this is another bean trellis, and what I love doing is growing beans that grow overhead, and then you can just walk along, you can see what's going on, you can pick your beans. It's really easy to pick these and find these. They grow bigger and stronger and straighter when they can hang like that, versus in here you end up with bent beans like you can see here. They're not fully coloured because they haven't had access to the light, whereas these guys are just beautiful prime looking beans, uniform colour, nice straight looking bean, and they're not twisted up and funky miscoloured stuff. So if you can get air and light around your veggies is one of the key things. So again, Purple Kings and Vitalis beans you can see in here. I love growing these guys. We'll be blanching some of these and freezing them for long-term storage. We also do some canning. Canning takes a lot more effort, but if you've got the freezer spaces, we've got a couple of freezers for storing veggies. Is the way to go. I've got a little bit of dill mixed in here with some random stray tomatoes that have come up. We've harvested some broccoli here. That's our remnants of the broccoli. This patch right here in the middle, got one centre bed here, which we deliberately planted with a number of varieties of potatoes. So can't remember what was where. I did have tags, and I've lost the tags in the jungle here. I also have in the middle here another trellis, and I've got some sweet potato growing here. I'll grow this up the trellis. There's another one here. We'll grow up the trellis. and hopefully end up with some really big sweet potatoes in there. These guys, I don't pull all my potatoes up, I leave them in the ground. They tend to store really well on the ground, so we just harvest potatoes as we need them, and we'll keep on pulling potatoes out of here for months. Let's work my way around. So again, here's our back to the pickling gherkins. I'll be harvesting some more of those. Got some, so what have we got here? Some spring onions that I've planted. So I put in a bit of a mixture of stuff. I like mixing stuff up. So I've got some spring onions in there. I actually got some spring onions over the back there. Again, that strategy I like doing of mixing things up to find positions that plants like. Down through here, I'll work my way through this potato jungle. What we have down the end here, if you might recognise this fern, that is asparagus. So this is an asparagus bed here. We've been eating asparagus every night since September. Just about over asparagus, but these guys just produce every year. Another one of those perpetual crops. It's a crop for life. Got some wonderful strawberries. These strawberries have been producing I think this is the 4th year now. So these are a fabulous producer. Biggest problem I have, we did have a problem with crows early on the season, and something has been at that. Looks like a slug or snail. Our big problem we've had is we've got a blue-tongued lizard that comes through here and eats all of the strawberries. So I don't mind too much. He's part of nature, and he's eating other bugs and snails and things as well. So it's our strawberry patch. We get heaps of strawberries from that. A couple of random tomatoes. In here we have some beets, and the beets are just going nuts. We just pull one of those out whenever we want to eat a beet for dinner, or stick in the roast in the oven. Over the back here we have some Lebanese cucumbers, so they're a great salad cucumber. So following along here, mixture of some more spring onions that we've got there. Peas, there's a mixture here of onwood and snow peas. Looking a bit ratty. We had a massive harvest off of these over the last 2 months, and the plants kind of died back a bit, but we've now got a second flush of peas coming on here. So even though they do look a bit ratty, we're getting plenty of peas off of these, still producing like crazy. You've seen the corn. We've come back through the other side here. More artichokes. And we saw that artichoke and the spaghetti squash. On the other side of this here, I have a row of carrots. So I really jam everything in. On this side there's a row of carrots. On this side I did have a row of radish, which we've picked recently. And then the spaghetti squash is taken over from there. We really do fill I really do fill the space in when I do this. So that's more or less an overview of veggie patch number 2. We'll work our way back over to the final veggie patch number 3. This one's a work in progress. So this bed's a couple of years old now. I did an extension this year. You can see the new timber here, and then the old timber moving forward from there. So I've extended this another 3 metres this year, and when winter comes around I'm going to expand this the rest of the way so that this will be 23 metres long like the other one over there. I might go around the outside here. So here I have a choco. Love chocos. So it's a vine. I'm going to grow this up this trellis here, and eventually I'm going to run a wire the length of the fence here across the top and train my choco vine along there, and that'll produce chocos. If you don't know what a choco is, it's an Asian fruit, chiote, or is it Mexican? I can never remember, but very good. Random tomato. I've got in here some capsicums, seeds from capsicum that we collected from a shop that were a really nice capsicum, so I kept the seeds and got some plants growing from those. These are an eggplant that a mate of mine got me onto, called F1 Midnight. So it's a commercial variety. It's the long eggplant variety. So doing a bit of an experiment here. I'm always of two minds whether it's laterals on and laterals off. So I've taken laterals off half of these and then kept the laterals on, as you can see in these other ones. And we're going to do a bit of an experiment to see which produces the best. So I've got 20 midnight finger eggplant in there. I've just recently cleared out, I had all in here cauliflower, taken all the cauliflower out, and I've planted in here some eschalots and red onions, which have yet to come up, some bulbs I put in there. This is the remnants of some celery. I'm letting it go to seed so I can collect the seed, collect celery seed. Again, I talked earlier about planting the same thing in multiple locations. These are 2 raspberries. Can you see the difference in size of these raspberries compared to the ones that were back over there? These are from the same bag of canes. And in this position, these guys have not grown yet. We've got really good garden mix, and we've got mushroom compost and everything going on here. But in this position, the exact same plant and the exact same bag. One cane didn't come up. These guys have hardly grown at all. Potatoes, deliberately grown potatoes. Got some potatoes over the back. I like doing beds that are 1 metre wide and then just having a little walkway here. I've got another video you can watch on my no-dig method that I use to doing these garden beds and how I set these garden beds up. There's a video on my YouTube channel that I have. Not really a channel, it's just a place where I share videos with people on how I do stuff. We've got some more celery. Again, I'm deliberately left this so I can collect the seeds, so I can have some celery seed for use in herbs, etc. Got some peas that aren't doing too well, so another example of planting in multiple positions. These are the exact same variety as the guys over there, but they just have not grown here. Some more celery interspersed in here. I've got some more sweet basil. Got a long, this is what it's called, a long Thai chili. Just a new plant. Cos lettuce that's going to seed. So again, deliberately want to collect the seed for planting. This is a curly leaf variety of a lettuce, a commercial variety that was given to me. And I'm collecting the seed to have a play with, see if I can get it to germinate. More basil, my principle of putting multiple things in multiple places. Eggplants, these are one of my favourites. This one, a big variety. It is Black Beauty. So on the left we had our F1 Midnights, a finger variety. These are a big variety that you can cut into lovely discs to fry up. Got some more beetroot. Another one of my, this is a long Thai chili variety. Plant's doing well. Got some oregano. Love again, multiple positions. Got some thyme here. Random tomato, and in here we have some there's a broadleaf parsley. It's not doing too well, doesn't like this position. We've got habaneros. Got some California Wonders in here. These are all California Wonders. And I'm doing an experiment this season. One of the things I was always told is when you get that first fork in the plant like that, that you should lop the top off so that the plant will then bush up, grow out, and you get a higher yield. And I've done it, but I don't know whether it actually truly works. So I've actually got some here. I've lopped the top off of that plant, and that plant. And then we've got 3 plants, 1, 2, 3 here, which I haven't lopped the tops off of. And I'm going to compare it, and I'll let you know which works better. Top off, top on. You can see the start of an eggplant here, one of the fruit of the Black Beauty coming along. So it should be a good year for eggplant. I planted eggplant in these beds last year and got a fantastic crop. So I've changed the position where I've planted it, but it is in the same bed, proximity of the bed. So you can tell by the health and the vigour of the plants, we should have a tremendous crop. We've got some capsicum here, and here is some jalapenos. This is the 3rd year, these plants. So these plants have survived 2 seasons. This is their 3rd season. And the jalapenos in this position I get are just insane. These, I've already done a pick. This summer. So would have been 3-4 weeks ago I did a pick. And we're already getting, massive jalapenos from these guys. So I always thought you had to pull them out at the end of the season. I was wrong. If they survive, let them go, let them keep on going. We did have a couple more plants in here that didn't survive winter this year, but these guys did. So jalapenos, this one, look, this is a tree. This damn thing is nearly the same height as me. This is over my shoulder height in height, and is going great gun. So that's just a standard Taste of America jalapeno, grew from seed, bought at Bunnings in a little seed packet. Some more sweet basil, again a little bit ab nauseum, but growing the same thing in multiple positions to find the best place they like to grow. Going to be a massive jalapeno crop. This is a Bell variety, I believe, of chili. Then you've got traditional Thai chili. This plant survived from last year, and it's just a bush. There are hundreds and hundreds of jalapenos on here. Jalapeno chilies, Thai chilies. The mice got stuck into these going into winter. This year, we're still in 2023. But they're going great guns. Some shallots, long white shallots behind me. Back over to my Thai chilies. In here we have some Ford hook spinach. There's only 4 plants in here, 5 plants, I lie. That gives us more spinach than we can eat for 2 people. So that's, Ford hook. I like growing the big spinach rather than the smaller varieties. It's just up off the ground, less bugs, less disease, easy to look after. Harvest what you need and away you go. Some random tomatoes. Got beans growing through the trellis there, I'm going to have to pick. Got a couple of stray capsicums from last year. They survived this year. I've already picked capsicums today. And then down the back end here is the potatoes, which you saw when we came around here before and looked at those raspberries. So that's the tour of my 3 garden beds and what I've got going on. people ask me what are my keys to success. I think probably the biggest thing I do is I love using mushroom compost. Get it from a garden, a landscape centre. That's what you can see here. So I'll come through in winter and I just put that straight on the top. I don't even dig it in. I'll put 6 inches of, about 5 to 6 inches of mushroom compost. The worms go absolutely nuts. You leave it for a month, 2 months before you start planting in it. And your plants will love you. Mushroom compost is light, it's easy to work with, you can move it with a rake, it's extremely light. Makes it easy for me with my dicky back to be able to move this around and put it in here. Plants love it, adds the organic matter you need, and it's just sensational. It's got no weeds in it, there's no seed. And that's it. I used to do composting. You can see my composting bins there. I've given up doing that. It's just too hard on my back. I love doing it. If you can do it, great, power to you. But look at this, mushroom compost. Look at this garden. It is just, this veggie patch is on the roids. And the method, I've got a no-dig method that I've developed myself, which is different to a little bit different to some of the other no-dig methods. But it's my style, it works for me. And my jungle absolutely loves it. If you have any questions or maybe even want to come have a look, I don't mind. I have people come and send me messages, and personal messages, and want to come check it out. I don't charge, there's no entry fee. I just love telling people about and sharing what I do in my little piece of paradise down the back here. This is my sanity, and it's what I love doing. There's nothing better than sticking your hands in the soil and growing something from seed and then enjoying it. It's chemical free. And there's my little carrot bed that I mentioned before. I really do jam stuff in here wherever there's a space. This is the back side here where I've got my Lebanese cucumbers. Beetroot are planted in front of it here. Lebanese cucumbers here, spring onions in here. I shoehorn as much as I can in, but the soil can sustain it. That mushroom compost is just magic. A little asparagus bed down here. Worth mentioning on the asparagus. This is an asparagus fern. So you can pick and harvest asparagus after it's a couple of years old. You've got to let the crowns establish in the ground. What we do is the spears will come up at this, in spring, and they'll be fatter than your thumb when they come up out of the ground, and you can enjoy them. But once the plant starts to get a little bit stressed, it starts to use up its energy, it starts to throw up thinner spears. So you wouldn't normally eat those thin spears. I've just broken the top off that, and I will eat that. But when the plant gets to this stage and it's throwing up thin spears, that is tasty. We just let that go to firm. And what will happen now, we're in the last few days of December, these plants will put their energy back into the ground. They have a crown, they have a root rhizome in the ground. So what they'll do is store up energy in that root to make it so it can survive through winter. This fern will die off in late autumn and brown off, and then you can cut those brown fronds off. There's an asparagus spear. It would still be okay to harvest when it gets a couple more inches taller. So yeah, please ask any questions. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching.